In today's Coaster Rumor, we're discussing Shockwave and the possibility of it being removed from King's Dominion's coaster lineup. Currently, everything that's being discussed with this coaster is speculation. The park has not released anything regarding the coaster departing, but in this video I'll be discussing my thoughts on the park removing it, and if they did so choose to remove it, what they could do with the land. So first, let's discuss Shockwave as a ride. Is it an enjoyable coaster? This is a Togo stand-up. It's the last Togo stand-up in North America, and it's one of two Togos in the United States, the other one being the roller coaster or Manhattan Express at the New York Hotel in Las Vegas. Now that being said, Togo is a defunct company, and the roller coasters are considered not as good as newer roller coasters that are being developed. These stand-up coasters that they've produced are nowhere near as good as the B&M stand-ups or the Intamin stand-ups. Plus, not to mention, who wants to stand up on a roller coaster? So in terms of a good ride, Shockwave is not the greatest. The first half of the ride is fine, but after that double helix, the ride is pretty pointless. The airtime hills really are kind of dumb. It's really not a comfortable coaster. It's not smooth, it's compact, it's just not that great. Now looking at history, Cedar Fair has removed all of the other stand-up coasters by Togo at their Cedar Fair parks. We saw King Cobra get removed from Kings Island, and most recently Skyrider at Canada's Wonderland. Now, the Cedar Fair parks do work independently, so whether a park removes their stand-up coaster, I don't think that has anything to do with King's Dominion choosing to remove their stand-up. If they chose to remove it, then it's because they feel that there's another attraction that could fit in that land, or because that ride has low ridership, and so they feel that it's just best to remove it instead of continuing to pay for its maintenance. Shockwave doesn't suffer a lot of downtime. The coaster is almost always running, so most likely if they're removing it, it's because of low popularity or they want to reuse that land. Shockwave does sit on a narrow slip of land, but you could do quite a few things in that location. Shockwave sits smack dab in the middle of Candy Apple Grove, and if they were to tear out the Shockwave, then in its spot they could replace it with a slingshot and a family ride or a thrill ride. You can fit more than one attraction in Shockwave's location. I think for sure that King's Dominion is one of the next parks to receive a slingshot, but that's something for another video, but I could see it being placed in Candy Apple Grove. So let's say that they did put a slingshot there. What else could they put in that space? They could put in a Zamperla Disco. We saw one of these recently put in at Cedar Point, Pipe Scream. Those are good family rides, and King's Dominion doesn't have a true spinning roller coaster type attraction. Obviously the disco isn't a roller coaster, but it's close, and so this would somewhat almost give King's Dominion a spinning coaster. The other rumors are King's Dominion choosing to put in a Huss Frisbee in that location, and that is a great ride. There isn't currently a Frisbee in Virginia. The closest one is hundreds of miles away, so that would be a great attraction. Those are very thrilling rides. And all of those attractions would work very well in Candy Apple Grove. So discussing all that, do we think that Shockwave will be removed in 2015, or should the park wait a few more years? Listen, it's never great when a roller coaster has to depart a park, but Shockwave has never been known as a very popular attraction and never has a long line, and it's just not that great of a ride. The fact of the matter is that people aren't crazy about standing up on a roller coaster. It wouldn't surprise me if 2015 is Shockwave's last year. But on the other hand, it wouldn't surprise me if King's Dominion were to choose to keep Shockwave for a little while longer. A roller coaster is a roller coaster, and so it's sad when a park has to drop their coaster count at the park. Now that being said, there are some roller coasters at King's Dominion that I'd rather see go before others. In my opinion, Shockwave is one of those three roller coasters that I wouldn't mind being removed, the other two being Anaconda and the Hurler. And it wouldn't surprise me if we see the Shockwave go before either of those. It's a rough stand-up coaster that people just aren't big fans of.